Fantastic. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another ASEA Global Expansion Team Zoom. We have an incredible lineup for you tonight. We're going to talk about the business model of network marketing, which is probably one of the most confused and misunderstood business models out there. And I'm sure that many of you have come up across people who want to know why ASEA is marketed this way and why would you ever work in a business model like that. And some people have a negative connotation. Some people are very confused, don't really know what it is. And some people love it. So let's talk to these guys. Welcome Gina Moran, Ed Wiens, and Deni Robinson. They obviously have no problem with this business model. And so we want to get inside their minds and just talk to them a little bit about their mindset about why this business model is such an incredible business model, and quite frankly, the only business model that would work in bringing ASEA to the marketplace. But welcome, guys, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's start with Deni. Deni, have you ever failed in network marketing? Have you ever just said, "Oh, that sounds interesting," and got into a company and just fell on your face?
Well, yeah, because I have found that you can have a great product, but if you don't have the right corporate structure, things can fall apart. And that's exactly what happened in my first network marketing experience. Had some great products, but my husband and I were good friends with the president of the company. And we weren't on the leadership advisory council like I am in ASEA. But he told me, we spent a lot of time with him, and he just told me far too much about the inner workings and what was going on in the company and what was failing and what was wrong. And then I would go to events, and from the stage, what they would say and what was happening were two totally different things. And so for me, Cindy, one thing that I have to totally believe with my whole heart about what I'm doing, what I'm promoting. And so for me, when I found ASEA, a few minutes ago, you mentioned the whole story of ASEA. The day that I had flown down to meet the founder of the company, literally 13 years ago, just last week, really at the end of the day, I just kept thinking and saying to my friend who had went, what if everything they're telling us is true? What if they plan on that they really get to have worldwide distribution? What if this 17 years of research is going to make a difference for humanity? There were no top leaders in the company. There were none of these big income earners, and there were not all the stories that we have now. And so here we are 13 years later. And Cindy, it's been the most, other than raising my 4 children, the most significant feeling of contribution that I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me just ask you quickly before we move on. You said this isn't your first network marketing venture. So why were you open to the concept of network marketing in the beginning? When you were first approached with this idea of network marketing, were you open, or were you curious, or were you turned off, or were you turned on, or what was your initial curiosity? Why did you get in your first network marketing company?
My first foray into this was actually direct sales, and we got married young, you guys. We got married just at barely 19, lived in a 40-foot travel trailer. There was a lot of love, but not a lot of money. Again, 40-foot travel trailer, 300 square feet. And I went to a Tupperware party, and I found out if you did six parties, you could get the free stuff. And I just wanted the free stuff. Went to my first meeting and found out managers drove company cars. And I said, well, that's what I want to do. And actually within just about 3 months, I had my first company car, and found out that I, could make enough money to put my husband through college and graduate school and come out with no debt. And you guys, I've got a PhD, a public high school diploma, and 2 years of college. And having a brand new baby, there was nothing that I could have done that could have given me the time, freedom, and the money to be able to do that. So for me, I was open to opportunity, Cindy.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Ed, I know this isn't your first network marketing venture, and you joke about the greatest networker in the world. That happened a long, long time ago, and he recruited 12 people, right? So talk to us about network marketing. Were you open from the very beginning? If somebody approached you with a network marketing company, were you all over it, or were you skeptical and asking a lot of questions?
Well, of course, I bumped into network marketing before I ever really heard of it or knew what it was. I walked into the garage of some family friends. My parents were friends of my parents. I knew he was a real estate, kind of a landlord. He was a sort of a builder, and he had products all around his garage on shelves. And I said, "What is all this?" And he said, "Oh, these are products that we saw." I said, "You make money from this?" He says, "Oh yeah." And then he said something that was to me just magical. He just said, "And if we recruit other people to sell these products, we make some profit off of what they sell." And I thought, I'm a senior in high school, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. There's a concept like that. I mean, my first job was sales. I was probably 7, 8 years old, selling boiled crab door to door in a fishing village. My dad, caught him, and mom boiled him, and I sold them door to door. I sold newspapers on the street corners of Juneau, Alaska at 8 years old. So I like the idea of being able to earn and earn according to my effort, but the chance to multiply your earnings on the efforts of other people was just, that was it wasn't until years later I really was introduced to network marketing formally, but the concept, the raw concept, to me, it's consistent with how this whole industry was born. And that's another conversation I love to have. I've actually spoken on that a number of times. That we talk about the genesis of our company, but I love the genesis of this industry and really finding out how it came about, when it came about, and how it's evolved to where it is. So yeah, I was asking somebody if they've ever failed in network marketing is asking Deni that is like asking an all-star player if they ever lost a game. Or a batting champion if they ever struck out. Certainly, different degrees. I guess you never really look at them as failures. You just learning experiences. And I've had some strikeouts. I've had some singles and doubles, and fortunately a couple of home runs. So I love the industry. Always have. It's not perfect, but it's just better than whatever else is out there.
Yeah, so it's a business model, right? And, there's a retail business model, and there's a wholesale business model, and there's a network marketing business model. There's lots of different business models, and direct sales is a little different than network marketing. And, there's all these little twists and turns on business models. But at the end of the day, it's just a business model. And if you have a bad retail experience, it's not like, oh, I don't do retail. I mean,
Right.
You just had a bad retail experience. So you find that similar with network marketing, that if you had a bad network marketing experience, it doesn't mean that all network marketing companies are bad.
You can't name one industry that hasn't had its bad apples. I don't care what it is, if it's religion, corporate world, government, education, real estate, the legal world. I mean, there is no industry that's immune from bad people, and especially true in the early days of a new idea. If you go back and study franchising, when franchising was a new idea, it had never been thought of. Somebody thought, I'm going to package a business, a brand, and I'm going to sell it off. I'm going to get a royalty off of somebody else who cooks this a certain way, and that came within 11 votes of being outlawed by Congress. It was considered a ripoff to the American consumer. Well, obviously, laws were eventually passed and structure was established, and franchising is alive and well around the world. Same with network marketing. Unfortunately, some people got exposed to it maybe in the early days, the Wild West days, in the 70s, when I was first really exposed to network marketing, before it was even defined. And so there were no rules and there were no laws. And in the wake of that, of course, a lot of people who were introduced to it back then have carried with them the impression of that era. And you can't make good business decisions today based on information that's out of date or incomplete or inaccurate. And so, yeah, it's gone through its interesting chapters of evolution and improvement. But today, I think it's the most reputable way to do business, period.
Yeah. So you referenced, having to stockpile your garage full of product, and, then I think you had to cut your people, their checks. So you got to send a big check from the company and you had to cut their checks. Well, it doesn't work that way anymore. The internet has changed this industry, right? It's really made it a level playing field. And that's why a global business is possible for people like us, right? That we can reach through the internet and reach people all over the world
It's just it's the next evolution of word of mouth. Word of mouth has really always been throughout history. It's been the advertising medium. Conventional advertising didn't even become a thing until in the 1800s. It's interesting. Go back and read stories about the chocolate wars, the 150-year chocolate war. And that's really when marketing and sales pitchiness became a thing. Prior to that, if you were a merchant, if you were a basket maker, or you were a farmer and you wanted to sell your wares at a market or whatever, word of mouth was the only method of advertising. And of course, today we've got a platform and the ability to have a reach that's global. So it's word of mouth is what makes the marketing world go around. Absolutely. And today it's more perfected than ever.
Absolutely. And I want to get to Gina, but what you just struck in my mind is what I love about this industry is that money that would go to an advertising agency is redistributed to the people. And so, I mean, if the people have money that they need to live their lives, all kinds of things improve. Crime goes down. I mean, everybody's life is improved. So it's really a team sport. That's, a primary thing, as opposed to just the rich getting richer. This is really making it a level playing field for anyone who wants to change their life. So Gina, what about over to you?
Cindy, can I 30 seconds on what you just said?
Yeah,
Gina,
sure.
I'm sorry. So you guys, I think it was Memorial Day weekend. I was in town at a Nordstrom rack. I live in Spokane, Washington, and they do more retail than the regular Nordstrom in town. And when I walked in that day, I mean, there was a lot of people, and I asked the guy, I'm like, wow, you guys have had a good day. And she's like, yeah, we're so excited. We're pushing for $100,000 day today. We just got a couple hours left. And I went, wow, huge building, all these employees, all the infrastructure, all the shipping, someone putting all the stuff up, all the cashiers. And I thought, I got a PhD, I work out of my home, and I have an organization that not only blesses my life, but so many other people get paid as well. And that's when it really struck me, the enormity of what we have. We don't just have a brick and mortar building. And as Ed has always said, I never just wanted to fill in the blanks, Ed,
never wanted to point to a building and say, that's where I work. I've wanted to point to a map or a globe and say, that's where I work. And it's never been more true than today.
Never more true than today, to realize just what we have on our hands. So Gina, over to you.
You forgot to mention she's got a PhD. She's also got an MBA, massive bank account.
That's right. That's right.
All because of network marketing.
Right.
The only reason.
Yeah.
Only reason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good industry to figure out, even if you don't figure it out right away. So Gina, have you ever failed at?
I just want to tag on to what Deni said, because what she always taught us too, and what I always love is that every dollar she's earned is a direct reflection of lives being changed and blessed. And that's what empowers me every day to get up and do this, again, over and over. But go ahead, Cindy.
I was just going to ask you, have you ever failed in network marketing? Did you ever get into a company and then not made any money? Did you ever, you talk to people and nobody's interested? I mean, did you ever spin your wheels while you're trying to figure out how to make this business model work?
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, as Trish always said, the highs are high and the lows are low here in this business. And I think we have to realize that it is a business and we do go to work. It's not net miracle marketing. It's not like anything we do in life. We're going to have those bumpy roads. But I can tell you, Cindy, when I was first approached by someone to take a look at this model, I was one that said no. I said, no, absolutely not. Right. And I can't even imagine where my life would be today if I had not taken that invitation and seriously, right, to take a look at this. And I think that's, like you were saying earlier, this is one of the most misunderstood business models in the world. You could line up 10 people who have never really embarked on this journey and ask them, what is network marketing? And you might get 10 different answers, right? I think the world still really doesn't understand, especially people who are of the employee mindset. Right. And they're still trading dollars for hours, chasing the almighty job. Right. And that's, really where I was. I mean, I grew up my father taught me hard work ethics and owned his business and invested money. And, I really believe that just like most people, that's how you get ahead in life. Right. I had no idea that this kind of business model existed. Like Ed was saying, that you could come in here and work with a team right? Team is an acronym for together, everyone achieves more. And I think when you apply that principle, you realize that it's not just about your efforts, it's about the resources and tools. And you know, what did Virtus teach us? That, excuse me, the essence of strategy is to leverage your resources. Well, how many resources do we have here? Sometimes it's almost overwhelming, but we're so grateful and blessed to have those resources free, I might add, of charge. Like some of these companies that charge for those tools to help people become successful. But I just, I'm so grateful that I finally kept an open mind and just long enough to really understand what this truly was. And it wasn't even more about what I could do on my own. It was about helping other people. But I do think that most people who are approached with this that don't understand, you know, of course they're going to have apprehension. They're going to have skepticism. They're going to have doubt. They're going to have objections because they're making an uninformed decision, right? Usually based upon ignorance, I hate to say, because they just don't understand what it is. But, you know, most of us, I think, through a journey of discovery and education and information, you know, as we kept our minds open, you know, we really engaged on a whole different business model here where we began to understand that we could take ownership, not just of our health, but of our life, of our time, which is our most precious commodity. And as a mother of 4, you know, how many moms out there would like to own their time, right? And not have to, you know, wake up to an alarm clock, you know, race through rush hour traffic just to get to a job that they really don't care much about anyway. It just causes more and more stress for the family. So how much better to be able to bring people home. And, you know, I would much rather tap dance out of bed and greet the day with excitement and, you know that I can make a meaningful difference. Just little old me in my little old house right here. Like Deni said, I can reach the masses across the pond, across the world, just by sharing.
So, but Gina, so there's a lot of things that make ASEA different from any other network marketing company out there. A lot of things in ASEA make the company different from any company out there in or outside the network marketing space. But think about your first company. I know this is not your first rodeo either. And so when you were first approached with network marketing, why did you take the time to even begin to understand how this model works?
You know, for me, Cindy, what I saw was an opportunity for someone like myself who, like Deni said, I have a PhD. I a public high school diploma. Okay. I don't have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of debt in college, which I'm very grateful for. But I was a home mom and I didn't have all the experience and knowledge that it would take to get me to the kind of income level that I feel like I deserve or would like to have for my family. And, you know, to leave a legacy and actually a will for my children, you know. But what I realized is that I could come in here and the training, the support, everything that I needed, the team, we could work together and I could build my dreams. And so what I saw the servant leadership. At least I saw it within the team that I was, you know, working with. And I saw that people would actually help me. People would help me. And so today, you know, I pay it forward. Like I just love being able to help people build their dreams and build their businesses, because where else are you going to find, you know, someone that's going to do that for you? You'd pay hundreds of dollars for a consultant, right? For a business consultant to give you advice and on how to develop a successful business. And then you're going to just train your competition anyway. So but that's what I saw, Cindy, was just an opportunity where regardless of age, race, sex, background, people of all walks of life could come in here. We all start on the same playing field, right? We all have the same opportunity. You know, some people might look at us and go, oh, well, you know, you guys, you got in early, or you had all the experience or everything you need. No, we didn't. We had everything that you have right now, right here today. In fact, we had less. We had quite a bit less, didn't we? We didn't have all the scientific studies. We didn't have all the tools and resources. We didn't have all the people collaborating, working together to create all these sites that we all enjoy leveraging, right? We have so much more opportunity today than we've ever had. And just like you said, we've gone from brick and mortar to click and mortar, you guys. This is the 21st century. If in fact, I feel like every family should have a home-based business, right? Every family should have one today. And hopefully it's with the CIA because
Absolutely.
the ethos here is, yeah, it's immeasurable.
Yeah, I mean, both Bo and I worked in the corporate world, and what we didn't like was the lack of control. I mean, there was somebody else pulling the strings, and we were just the puppets, and we had to do, what the captain said. I mean, so there was, we could, if we were in sales, both of us, and so we could make a fair amount of money, but we were not in control of our destiny. Somebody else was, and all of a sudden you're working, and they're asking you to train the owner's daughter or son in the job that you're doing. I mean, well, the writing's on the wall, you're about out of there, so there's all kinds of corporate scenarios that are just, that just don't seem right. But yet we're educated in college or, high school or whatever, we're brought up to understand that way of working, where we're really not brought up to understand this way of working. Right. So it's
oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I was going to go ask Deni, did it take you a mindset shift? I'm sure you had a job before you got into your first network marketing company or direct sales company. Did you have to shift your thinking from an employee mentality into a business? You are running your own business now. Was that ever overwhelming? Did you have to change your mindset?
Yeah, I did. I'd been working also since I was really young, like Ed. Buying my own clothes by the time I was 14, and started working as a legal secretary at 15, just because I typed really fast. But when I had to start to learn about running my business like a business, realizing that sometimes it wasn't just an 8 to 5 job, and having a new baby, I had to be working, around that schedule as well. But when I realized that I also could be the master of my destiny, and I didn't have to clock into somebody, after selling Tupperware for 10 years, becoming a top manager in the nation, having 10 cars. And then in that first company that I mentioned, when I lost my heart, I lost my way, I did go get a job even for a startup company. And when they told me what they were willing to pay me, I literally went out to my car and I cried. And I thought, doesn't matter how hard I work, how many hours I put in, how innovative I am, to have this kind of cap. And I remember one time when we were young, I wanted to remodel my kitchen. And my husband was like, well, you go ahead and pay for it. And I'm like, okay, because I knew exactly what I had to do to make that happen in my own time frame. And so I love not having a ceiling. Like Gina just said, there is nothing like network marketing that literally obliterates the age, race, and gender gap. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your level of education. If you are willing to work hard, and I think you have to like people, that's kind of important. But the thing about this is what all of you are mentioning too, compared to going to school, this network marketing business model is wrapped up in this self-development model where I do feel like I've gotten a pretty good degree. And what's interesting, Cindy, at this point is that, I have doctors, lawyers, surgeons who often find out what my education level was and say, you make what? And you have the freedom. And even my husband, who owned a large accounting firm, would say, even the first couple of years, he'd say, honey, now I've done really well in ASEA, but it was decades in the making I want everyone to know that this wasn't an overnight success. And most people who are an overnight success are lying to you. But anyway, I got to still become so much more. And that's what's so great about it. And as you all just mentioned, for us to be able to affect people around the world, I've got a couple different Asia trips planned, European trips, people I never would have met, Cindy, if not for this incredible, beautiful model of network marketing.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that you could work around your life instead of having to live around your work. You can really design it so that your family doesn't get sloppy seconds. Right? You get to put your energy where it's due. So yeah.
And we have to be able to have a professional life that fits around the rest of our life, because, having this 30,000 foot flyover view for all of you, You know, I had 4 children. I now have 10 grandchildren, 2 more on the way. And that all of you literally on this call get the ability to affect lives unborn. I've seen that in my own family. And now I see it as we're generationally changing really the health and wealth of people around the world.
Absolutely.
Cindy, this industry has been described as the most equal opportunity to become as unequal as you want to be.
Mhm.
And I love that aspect of it. But listen, I don't want to ever disparage the people who just work jobs. We need people to work at the restaurants and the hotels and fly the planes and work at the ASEA plant. We need all those employers. But for the person who has drive and ambition, that just wants to not just have more, but do more and become more and has a vision that just maybe requires more resources. There is no model that can deliver that, in my opinion, like network marketing. And we're not saying somebody's got to work. You just get to choose whether it's going to be you or even the kind of business that you have. I've often heard it said, if your business requires your presence, you have a job. It's not really truly the kind of business that we aspire to and have enjoyed in network marketing, where it doesn't demand your presence. It just it's just, again, I think Eric Worre said it best. It's not perfect. It's just better.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that once you experience it, you know that it works.
Yeah.
A lot of people have never experienced success in network marketing. So instead of going towards it, they go away from it because they're like, I tried that and that didn't work. Bo and I failed in, 5, 6, 7 network marketing companies before we began to have success because we didn't know what we were doing and nobody was coaching us. We didn't have a mentor. So, we'd say, well, what are we supposed to do? And they'd say, order the pack. And so we'd say, okay, we ordered the pack. Now what do we do? And they go sell it. We'd say, to who? And they'd say, anybody. And so that was our network marketing training. Well, chances are you're going to fall on your face if you feel like a door-to-door salesman. I mean, that's not how network marketing is supposed to work. So, there's a lot of, it takes thick skin to develop the skills and the headspace to keep at this, the tenacity to keep at this, because it's an industry you have to figure out. Did you have to go through any mind shifting, Ed, or were you just a natural?
Well, personal growth and personal development is definitely a factor here. In fact, that whole emphasis is an important part of the history of this industry. I think some of the early pioneers of network marketing, building large organizations, realized that was essential. People needed to have personal growth to be able to just climb the mountain here. And so there began to be events, seminars, meetings, the emphasis of reading books. And back then it was tapes, cassette tapes. And the problem was that during a particular period of this industry's evolution, the sale of those kinds of tools and events and so forth became so profitable that the tail began to wag the dog. And they got kind of out of balance. But it doesn't eliminate the fact that kind of personal growth is necessary. Thankfully, today it's available on a more universal scale, easily or more accessible. Materials are out there, so it's been described as a personal growth process project disguised as a business, and it really is. We've all grown. I've known Deni a long time. I've known Gina a long time. Cindy, I've known you a long time. We're not the same people we were when we first met 20 years ago. We've all grown and developed, and that's a big factor in whether or not this becomes a success. Or you even mentioned the word, I don't even know if it's right to reference those earlier experiences as failures. If you learn something from it and you gain from it, it wasn't really a failure. It was just, you struck out, but you came to the plate again, and overall you won the game. So yeah, personal growth is a big part of this, and you've got to get a grip on that.
Absolutely. And I mean, the communication skills and the listening skills are, and learning to ask the right questions without your agenda in mind, with
Yeah.
the person that's in front of you, their agenda, and how you might be able to help them live a better life or solve a certain problem in their life is our key components to being successful in this business. And that takes
People today have access to that kind of input and that kind of training more readily available than any time ever in history. So just be a student, be a learner, be hungry, be coachable. Those are factors that absolutely are essential to success in this business.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm sure that we're at the bottom of the half hour. Jana, I just wanted to touch on pyramid scheme, because I know that, everybody runs in, isn't that one of those pyramid schemes? I don't even know when people say that, if they know what they're talking about. But just to be clear, a pyramid scheme is basically a money laundering business where you don't have a product or service to sell. That's the
They're illegal. They're illegal. You can't operate them.
Pyramid scheme as opposed to a legitimate network marketing business. So just so you know what that is. I mean, but Gina, do you have any closing thoughts about your mindset shift that, what do you do to keep yourself strong and your posture confident when you're going out into the world, feeling like a black sheep surrounded by white sheep, most of who don't understand redox signaling molecules and don't understand network marketing and what you're trying to talk to them about?
Well, Cindy, first of all, I just want to say that I believe that you couldn't find a more ethical or viable business model, okay, to come into, especially if you're aligned with a company like ASEA. And, I want to say that, even our founder, Bertus Norton, right, who is a very successful CEO, took a company from multi-millions to multi-billions, obviously with his type of education and success in the business world in corporate America, when he did all of his research and all of his homework, why did he choose direct sales? Because like Ed said, word of mouth marketing has been around since the Stone Age, and we know it works. And he knew that he had a product or a category or technology here that would become a category creator, but more importantly, to be able to give it to the people via the people was the greatest thing he could have done for any of us. But, mindset is everything in this business, Cindy. I like Ed was saying, personal development. This truly is like Tyler says, a next level marketing for us is truly disguised as a personal development program. And I've come so far. I've learned so much. Guys, the personal development here alone, it's worth every bit of the tears, the struggle, the days that Mama said there'd be days like this where you just want to curl up and say, I don't want to do this anymore. But you know what? It's so worth it to strive and to grow and to challenge yourself every day to believe and belong and become more. And it is about belief. It truly is about belief. Like Ford said, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're always right? But you do have to work on your mindset every day. And you have to surround yourself around like-minded people that lift you up, that bring you up, that speak positive, into your life, right? And you have to think about your thoughts, right? Because, your thoughts control your actions. And so when you believe in the law of attraction, or whether you believe, that all things are possible to him that believeth, it's all about belief. I want to share something really special with you really quickly, if I may. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a check that my daughter, Naomi, it looks like it's backwards, I guess.
No, we can see it.
Date on there. It was written on August something of 2011. Can you see what it's for?
$1 million.
$1 million. My daughter wrote me this check. I'm getting goosebumps from head to toe. When 1 year before ASEA was brought to me, I was in network marketing in another company, but I had no idea what was coming. And she wrote me this check because she believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I'm just so grateful today that, somehow ASEA found me, and I'm wearing my $1 million jacket tonight just to show you that dreams really do come true here. You can be, you can create your own fairy tale. You can be your own Cinderella. I love that movie Cinderella Man because that was me. I was fighting for my children. And I just know that, if you believe you can and you surround yourself around people that can help you, dreams really do come true. And I'm just so grateful to Naomi for writing me this check. I mean, I never believed it. I thought, oh, gee, honey, that's really nice, right? But maybe someday, wouldn't that be nice? Well,
Hey, Gina, I think I saw 9 zeros on that check. That's $1 billion, honey. That's $1 billion.
I got a ways to go, but
Yeah.
I love this. Where else is a homeschooling mom like myself with a PhD and really not a lot of time going to be able to accomplish what I have here, and I'm so grateful and honored because of the lives that have been blessed and changed because of it. So thank you, Cindy, for sharing.
Cindy, some of the brightest minds, the brightest business minds in the world get it when it comes to network marketing. Warren Buffett, Richard Branson, Robert Kiyosaki, these are smart business people. They get it. This is a reputable way to do business, and people who your brother-in-law may not get it. The person that your coworker who doesn't want you to rise above where they are may not get it. But listen, this is here to stay. This is the reason why thousands of companies have chosen to move their product or their service into the marketplace via network marketing, because it works and it's ideal.
Yeah, and I just want to close with this. I know that when Virtus was looking for distribution models, he played in a foursome with a guy in Park City. And the guy asked him, how are you going to market these molecules anyway? This is after they'd turned down the offer from the pharmaceutical company. And he said, why do you ask? And he said, because this is a perfect product for network marketing. And Virtus said, network marketing, that's not a very professional business model. Don't you do that out of your garage or the back of your car? And the other guy who's in network marketing said, what, have you been living under a rock? The internet changed all that. You go do proper due diligence on the business model of network marketing, and then you tell me what you think. And Virtus, you give Virtus an assignment, he does the assignment. He went home, did the proper due diligence on network marketing, and realized that that's how the company got started organically, by people caring enough about another person to reach out and tell them about this. And he said, well, if that's what network marketing is, then let's start a network marketing company. So even he had weird beliefs about network marketing, but it was born out of, like Gina said, ignorance. He'd never been approached before. I guess you don't approach a Virtus Norton with a network marketing company. Don't we wish we had? But anyway, I want to thank you. We're a little bit past the bottom of the half hour. I want to thank you all so much for sharing some your wisdom and some time with us tonight to really discuss this very, very important topic, because it is such a viable industry. And it does lift people up. It gives people a hand up, not a hand out. And the fact that we can all work together, whether we're earning money with each other or not, it doesn't matter. We're one big ASEA family. And that's also very, very unusual for some network marketing companies to be so cooperatively run. So I appreciate each and every
I would just remind folks, go to ASEA United and look at the video, watch the video posted there with Tyler Norton sharing the story, about an hour-long story on the genesis of the company. You'll understand why they chose network marketing to distribute this product, but it's posted in ASEA United on Facebook.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have an incredible evening. Happy holidays, everybody, and good night.
Happy holidays.
Good night. Merry Christmas.